What is up, my fellow Chibits? I hope all of you are having a very wonderful day, and I hope many of you continue to have many great days ahead. And so with that, today I'm here to bring all of you a special Tokyo Ghoul video. I'm here to kind of talk about the parallels of the recent chapter 136 of Tokyo Ghoul Re. Now, just as a brief FYI, this does contain spoilers. This entire video will have spoilers for Tokyo Ghoul. So if you're not caught up to chapter 136 of Tokyo Ghoul Re, that's part 2, not part 1, then I don't recommend you to watch this video if you are not caught up. Now that I said that, I just want to briefly go over some things that are paralleled to part 1 and part 2, and kind of just talk about it, and also just showcase, once again, how Ishida loves writing his series. So to start off, let's talk about some simple stuff first. Let's talk about help arriving for Suzuya and Toka. So one of the big things, which is very simple here, I just want to show a parallel to, is that when you see Zero Squad, Hirako and all of them, arrive to help Toka in the latest chapter, the exact same thing technically happened in part 1. Now, it wasn't chapter 136, but the same thing did happen. About a chapter or two later, you had it to where Hirako and a bunch of others arrived to help out Suzuya when he was backed up against the wall against Eto. And now Hirako is arriving to save Toka, and that's just the similarities there. The next one to talk about is Hide and Uri being eaten. So this one is very easy to notice. I talked about this also in my live reaction, but just in case for some reason you didn't see the live reaction, or if you're still unaware for whatever the reason may be, I want to point out the similarities here. So in chapter 136 of part 1 Tokyo Ghoul, Hide popped up to help out Kaneki, and Kaneki, he was suffering, and he was like at the verge of death, and then eventually Hide offered himself, and we don't really necessarily know what happened between point A and point B. All we do know is that it is implied that Kaneki ate Hide. And another similarity here is Eto eating her father to get out of there away from Arima, and having Roma eat Uri in the latest chapter as well. Eto had a very monstrous-looking, Kakuja, and Roma has a monstrous-looking Kakuja. So there's some similarities there, and they both devoured someone with their Kakuja, so there's an obvious parallel. Kaneki was mentally getting eaten as well. He was getting worn down and devoured by his mind, basically. Uri, he was actually going kind of crazy as well, because he was just going into his mind thinking about everything that happened. Kuri waiting for Hirako to arrive, and in part 2, Hirako, arrives, and Kuri arrives to fight him. The next one to move into is Ko and Kaneki underground in chapter 136. Now, once again, another simplistic parallel. In chapter 136 of part 1, Kaneki, he went underground to save himself. He was badly injured, and he was just going underground to heal. And then Ko in chapter 136 of Tokyo Ghoul Re, he's also underground right now, and he's fighting Toka. We do know that Ko has been compared to Kaneki in a way, because as we know, he studied Kaneki. His, Kagane is very similar to Kaneki. I mean, there's just a lot of things there that are similar to both characters. So basically, it makes sense that this would be a parallel as well. Now, Kuroiwa and Shinohara being pushed back. Suzuya fighting Eto, and Kuroiwa fighting Roma. So, in part 1, Suzuya, he stood up against Eto. He stood up to fight Eto, even though he was critically injured. He was missing his leg, he was badly injured, he was losing a lot of blood, and he really didn't probably have a chance fighting someone like Eto when the veterans of CCG couldn't even stand a chance, like Kuroiwa or Shinohara. While in chapter 136 of Tokyo Ghoul Re, you have it where Kuroiwa is doing a very similar thing to what Suzuya did in part 1. Kuroiwa, he's standing up, fighting, and he doesn't have a leg missing, but he has an arm missing, and he is fighting Roma because he doesn't want to give up. He doesn't want to let the person beside him die, which is Uri, because he is down on the ground, he can't really defend himself, so Kuroiwa is fighting to protect him and will not give up, and that is why Uri, throughout the chapter, he's constantly questioning, just leave me, old man, why are you fighting? But he continues to fight regardless, even though he is probably going to die, is because he doesn't want Uri to die. Uri and Kaneki drowning. Now this one, you might notice, you might not, but there is a big similarity here. In chapter 136 of both parts, you have it to where Kaneki, he goes underground, and he is going crazy. And in an image when he is underground, you see in his mental state, he's drowning. You see two figures, Rize and Jason, pulling him down into the water. And also, this isn't the first time we have seen water showcasing that Kaneki's drowning in emotions or darkness. We have seen this constantly. Even Ishida went out of his way and made an illustration on it. And so, that is about it. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about these parallels? This video is probably going to be rather short, but I feel like this is a very different type of video, and it's interesting. It's very fascinating to see what Ishida does with his writing, and how he loves to just go back and kind of nod at his previous part. I just love stuff like that. So, tell me if you were aware of some of these parallels. If you were, let me know in the comments below, and if there's any I personally missed, also let me know in the comments below. So, I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.